As a child in his first year at school, Will took longer than most to learn to read. Whilst his classmates were already reading stories of the village with three corners, or learning about Biff and Chip's latest adventure with the magic key, Will was still sat with the school's janitor, sounding out monosyllabic words on little laminated strips of paper inside an old tobacco tin.
Papa paper peepa paper papa poopa poopa pop tata tita tata tata tot tutato art eight eat eight art ot oot ot. What to do to die today at a minute or two to two? A distinctly harder thing to say, but harder still to do. There'll be a tattoo at a quarter to two, rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, and the dragon will come when you bang on the drum at a minute or two to two today at a minute or two to two.
Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, let's go. Yeah, we'll do a few practice takes on that one. I wonder. Make it a little bit slower. Keep the same energy, but keep it a little bit slower.
I want a hamburger, or French fries, apple pie, small drink, side salad, and if I drive home and find everything I ordered isn't exactly the way I like it, I'm going to drive back here and eat your family.
I'm thinking I want you to go like quite quiet on it, like really like menacing, like switch it up. Like, yeah, let's see if we can, what that brings.
I want a hamburger, French fries, apple pie, small drink, side salad, and if I drive home and find everything I ordered isn't exactly the way I like it, I'm going to drive back here and eat your family.
Yeah, nice.
He still remembers the first audiobook he listened to. A full-cast BBC dramatisation of E. Nesbit's The Railway Children. He remembers sitting in the family kitchen with his younger sister, drinking hot orange squash and making a mess with a new pack of felt-tip pens.
Hello, can you hear me? Is this working?
Hi, my name is Lorraine Ansell and I'm a voice actor as well as a studio engineer.
Hi, I'm Ali Murphy and I'm a voice actor.
Because this is a very tiny creature, I'm going to kind of constrict my voice to be like a child's voice, but make it quite high pitched, maybe a bit squeaky. There's also like an undercurrent because yes, she's a tadpole, but she's going to grow into something bigger. So she's trying to get to that point. So I'm trying to characterize that into her read as well, so that she can be a little bit bossy when she needs to be, and she's not afraid to call on help. So trying to add that into the mix as well.
Guys, the spider is crawling towards me. Everyone is aware I don't have hands, right? Yeah, I don't have a lot of options here. Okay. Update! It's on the edge of my bucket now. It's making the way towards me. Guys! This is serious. Guys!
My parents would always say to me that I would be great as a newsreader, and they thought that I would go into journalism, but actually I just quite like recording things and playing around with things. I used to record things from the TV sound-wise and play with them and play around with them, and then I used to record my voice on very small, tiny dictaphones.
I got asked if I would do a commercial for Weight Watchers, and when I did the job for Weight Watchers, they needed me to come into the studio to do some voiceovers for the commercials. So I went in there, and the minute I got behind that microphone, I just felt excited and like I was meant to be there, and when I came out, I just wanted to go back in and do more, and I knew that that was my calling.
So please come on in.
I'm signing with my original name, Sara Figueiredo. which not a lot of people can pronounce.
With the help of his sister and an old tape recorder, Will played around with his own audiobook creations. He remembers whole Sundays spent recording, reworking, playing, popping leftover birthday balloons to simulate bombs exploding, or clanking his mother's best crockery loudly to simulate a restaurant. It was a secret game that he never told his friends. After deciding at 18 that the life of an actor would be much too hard and no doubt eventually fruitless, Will decided to abandon dreams of drama school and instead began to work.
Let me just tell you something before I go into the current jobs that I have. I used to be a computer engineer. I'm not sure that if I mentioned on the... So I used to have this 9-to-5 office job, and in the end they were very flexible with my acting career. So if I had an audition, I would just jump out of the office. I would go to the audition as long as I would come back and finish my tasks. But that was very draining, because computer engineering, I do like it, but it's exhausting when you try to hold that career and acting. It was too exhausting, so I decided to just give it up on April this year. So I gave that up, but I realized what a real actor's life is.
I was an actor originally many years ago and trained as an actor for on screen and stage.
When you don't have the 9-to-5 job, you need to have as many jobs as you can. So what I did was I went to all these websites about part-time jobs, and I started finding what I could do. So I can do some programming, so I started sending my CV, my techie CV, to every company that needed some part-time opportunity.
I was getting really downhearted by it. I had casting directors telling me, oh, the trouble is you're just not beautiful, you're just kind of ordinary looking, or I got told I'd have to lose a lot of weight if I wanted to be on TV. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go away from it for a little while and come back when it doesn't matter what I look like. So I thought in my head, I was like, right, I'll come back when I'm 30, and then I won't play the love interest anymore.
So I'm doing tutoring. I am teaching maths and Portuguese mainly. I'm also teaching drama. I started teaching drama now. I work 4 shifts a week in a restaurant. I passed an interview for a tutoring agency as well, so that's gonna give me more tutoring jobs. And I am also doing some programming on the side for companies that need some, for instance, some ads made in HTML, and I just do it. Yeah.
I researched how to be a voiceover, and I took a lot of training. I invested a lot of money into training and equipment. I set up a home studio in my house, in my cupboard, and just practiced, and it's all kind of started from there.
By this point, Will had found other players of his secret game by way of an online internet forum for amateur voice actors, a playground for people who wanted to create and perform from the comfort of anonymity.
This is Katie. Katie is one of our friends and voiceover colleagues, and yeah, this is a great studio space. Really quite jealous, actually, Katie.
I love it.
I want to move in.
I absolutely love it. I've been here since March, and we transformed a rather dilapidated building with water dripping down the walls and stuff. And this booth is made of metal. So the people who installed it said, well, you can't have any damp whatsoever in the building or it will go rusty.
You wouldn't believe the studio that they have. Maybe you have seen, but some actors' studios are just like a bed sheet on top of them, and which is amazing. That's what I do sometimes. But just come here. And this is a very nice storage place that we have. And what I did was I bought this big guy from SE Electronics, which is amazing. So you can focus on a brand here. SE Electronics is a brand that was advised to me by Guy Michaels as well, another actor. So this microphone is very good. It came with this whole scenario. Then I bought this stand, and I need to buy actually new headphones, but for now I don't have any more money. But yeah, I bought also the interface from Focusrite, and yeah, so basically what I do is I come to this storage place, I put a sheet on all over me, or I try sometimes to put them in the walls, so it gives me a little bit of more space of movement. And I do it. I have a chair and I have my laptop on top of that chair. I have some sockets here, which is perfect. And what I do is I do the recording, and then when I'm happy with the recordings, I just go back to that side of the room and I do the editing. This is my studio, and this little guy cost me some money, but to be honest, the quality of my recordings ever since I did it, they are much better. It's just the acoustics still, I'm figuring.
Buy what you can afford, I would say.
I literally recorded a piece here because I'm in rented accommodation, so I can't have something as lovely as this. So I recorded my cupboard that I've sound treated, and but I do have neighbours above me who moved out, which was great. And then yesterday morning I had a vital job, and at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the new neighbours moved in, and I had to literally wait for them to go upstairs, quickly say a piece, stop recording as they came back down again. And so it's not easy sometimes when you're kind of working in spaces that aren't as amazing as this. So it's definitely a good investment when you have the space and when you're in that point of your career. You can kind of do it anywhere if you can. I can't wait to buy a house though and have a great studio like this, because this is amazing.
I know. This is amazing, isn't it? Just beautiful. Yeah, we've got studio envy now.
You're welcome to come anytime.
I know.
Also, the cars that go along that street right there, we can hear them from inside, which can be very tricky. So when you don't have a lot of room for your studio, that's all you can do. So I use a bed sheet, and that really helps, but the acoustics is, but I'm learning, and I'm enjoying, and I laugh a lot. Because I listen back and then I compare it to my previous samples from the very beginning, and I'm like, okay, it's getting better, it's getting there.
It's difficult. Stop here today.
When you love something enough to want to do it full time, you develop a critical eye or ear. You learn to judge yourself, and it can err on the edges of self-destructiveness. Will believes that we are not very good at being critical and of seeing the value or small corrections of... Will believes that we're not very good at being critical and of seeing the value or... That's an of. Will believes that we're not very good at being critical and of seeing the value of small corrections or personal discoveries within the tapestry of a bigger picture. Will suspects that he will always feel a bit unsatisfied.
I used to have an issue with my accent. So every single day I was working on a general American accent, a British accent. I really wanted to get rid of it until I found an acting tutor who really embraces who you are, and it doesn't really matter where you come from or your accent, that's you. You should never lose that. Yes, it's good to have other accents, it's good to speak other languages, but just be who you are. And ever since that, and especially after these voiceover opportunities, I realized that I am okay having an accent, and it's actually fun when no one can tell where you are from.
Okay. I'm going to go a bit more tougher with it, I think. I felt a bit like wimpy there. I'm an army girl, I need to be a bit more...
Okay, yeah, let's do another take on that one. That was good though.
Man, I got something weighing me down, and I'd like to put it behind me. You've been a real surprise to me, and you know, I thought you'd just shit and run the first sign of danger, but you know, I guess I was wrong about you. I'm gonna do another one on that last line. I guess I was wrong about you. A big difference with acting for the microphone to on camera is that you tend to not get the script until just before. So in that time when you're kind of walking to the studio, you'll be looking at your script and trying to pick out certain characteristics. You would have had a conversation with your director about, you know, how do you think this person sounds? Like, have they got a high-pitched voice, a low-pitched voice? Have they got an accent? Have you already planned some stuff out for this character to do? Have they been through anything just before this scene that will make them sound out of breath? Or, you know, are they shouting to someone else? Is it raining, or is it a quiet garden, you know? So you'd be asking these questions, you'd be trying to focus and trying to put yourself in that mindset of that character, so that when the camera, well, not the camera, the microphone is rolling, you can just go straight into it without wasting too much studio time.
In an audio drama where I was an 8-year-old, I was lost in a forest, and I had to be scared, and I had to be quite high-pitched, and I had to speak almost hauntingly because I didn't know what was going on.
There's a wonderful video game actor teacher called Dave Fennoy that has this system where he says, if you think of your inner voice, if Ali the actor's inner voice is going, you look silly, or that doesn't sound right, or anything like that, if anything is coming outside, I'm not going to be a true character. So I try and shut that voice off and just have the character's inner voice, and I'll be thinking, you've been through so much and you're not going to die today. Today's going to be another day for survival, and I'll think of that whilst I'm saying other words. And that way you're becoming that character in a fuller way rather than just saying words.
It's mostly about recalling emotions or certain events in your life that, so when you are this character, you just trigger that sense memory and immediately you're there again. You are in that moment of your life and you are giving so much truth and so much subtlety.
Also, it's a bit like channeling, and you're channeling it through you. So is there a part of you? Yes, I think so. I think I like to feel that there is, because you get to live a moment in a character's shoes, and that's just really fun and exciting, and you can imagine what their life was like, and you can imagine what they're going to do tomorrow when you're not playing them with them, and they go off and have these other adventures. So I like to feel that, yes, there is a little part of me in there, because then I can go off and have these adventures in my head, and even after I've done the recording session, they're like wandering around in sort of a dream planet, in a dream world.
The real world is in the midst of a huge, poignant revolution in communication and access to information and data. Acting and art feel to Will like a beautiful means of sharing the abstract minutiae that are a core component of personality, of culture, and of identity. Voice acting is a purer distillation of this. It feels personal and private, although no longer secret.
Actually, I don't care people who is listening. I think it's not a good thing. Like when I was playing piano, I'm always having fun, but my teacher always become angry because my word is very closed. So I know it's to make a very good music. It's important to think about others, but the priority is that have exciting time for me. For me.
In fact, I quite enjoy the fact that being a voice actor, I'm not putting myself out there on screen and having to be something. I can just concentrate on the character and the story, which I really enjoy that.
I haven't really wanted to be in camera. I much prefer to be behind the scenes. That's why voice acting is perfect for me, because I really enjoy the intimacy I have with the microphone and the challenge that you have to bring copy to life and emotions to life when you are in a non-emotional setting relevant to that context of that copy. So that's the exciting part for me. I am much happier behind the microphone. It's my home, really.
I feel like my mid-30s was the perfect time to change career and do this, because I've got so much more experience in everything now.
I I'm a very creative person, and voice work is just one element of what I do and how I live.
My biggest dream is actually to do an audiobook now and video game. That is what I'm fighting for.
There is a sense of relief in meeting others who share in the delight of acting or expressing and of sharing stories. People like Ali and Lorraine. Hi guys.